presentation, Ms. Rachel Bagley, Managing Executive for Marketing and Revitalization Initiatives. Rachel.
Good evening. I will warn you that I have a kind of nagging, hacky cough. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of get through this. How do we start?
You're supposed to have your television voice, right?
Yeah.
I know.
It sometimes fails me. The information that you have in your in your agendas, and you had it in your packets for the council retreat, you've got a couple of things that I wanted to explain what you have, and then if you'd like to ask questions, hopefully we can get through that too. Some of you had the question, what are we doing with marketing? So what I did was compile a comprehensive list of marketing tools that we use across departments, not just those that come out of the city manager's office and are directed at general city marketing. So what you have in the document that's named, excuse me, I think it's the comprehensive inventory of marketing tools used by departments to promote the city to various audiences. So you have that. Just in case you wanted to know that information and look at it, kind of turn it around and look at it by audience, I also did a summary document for you. And that's the other document that you have that says City Marketing Initiatives, Current and Projected Highlights. It's pretty much a summary of the information on the comprehensive list, but it does provide it by audience. Now, excuse me, I'll go back to the comprehensive list. If you're looking for what kinds of things are we doing on a general basis, you'll look at that first page, which says General Marketing of the City, but you'll also want to focus on the marketing tools that the SHIELD is using, Keep Gastonia Beautiful, Economic Development, and Two Rivers, because they do market to larger audiences. Now, there was also the question, do we have a marketing plan? There is a document that I've sort of been working from. It's an informal plan. It's one that I've kind of used to benchmark what are we doing, what else do we need to do. That document was also included in your materials. It's titled City of Gastonia Marketing Plan Outline. Now, the other thing that you have is, when we've had this discussion before, kind of a back and forth discussion, there were members who said, well, you know, what is it that we want to market? And that would be my question, as the person who kind of coordinates the marketing for the city, is if there is something that you would like to focus on, if there is something you would like us to do more of, the document that you have that says who, what, when, where, why, and how, what I've done is compile those key questions. Who do we want to market to? What do we want to market? What's the purpose? Those are the kind of questions that we need to consider if we're going to sort of target a particular audience or target a particular topic. So with that basis, what questions do you have?
Let me interrupt, if I may. If there are questions, and we'll be back here in 2 weeks. We've had this, and we've certainly had, as you said, the opportunity to look it over from the work session. In respect to you, I don't think you should answer any more questions. I mean, I think you should go home and go to bed. But and let's put this on the agenda for in 2 weeks. Is that agreeable? Is that okay?
Table?
Table?
Fine.
Thank you.
I had some items I was gonna
Well, now, you're welcome to go right ahead. I'm making that offer that it's for your benefit. I mean, we'll listen to you.
I know.
All right.
And so far, I'm, you know, if you'll let me just show you some of the items,
Okay.
and then that'll kind of help. And if you want to kind of mull over it, gonna need, if you haven't had the opportunity, I do think you're gonna need some, some time to kind of think about the questions that are on the sheet about how, what do you want to market? What audiences do you want to market to? What's really the purpose of it? That will help us not only direct what we do, but it'll also help us be cost efficient so that we don't have a number of marketing items out there that we really don't have a real purpose for. So, just kind of to remind you what we do, of course, you all know that we have the newsletter that goes in the bill inserts. That's sort of a general way that we market. And I do say we market and not just educate, because all of the articles and all of the information is kind of designed to influence behavior. And that's what marketing does. Marketing is designed to either influence your buying decisions if it's a product or a service, or to influence your behavior if it's to buy into an idea or a concept. So we have those. We also have done a number of marketing pieces that are a little more a little more broad. This is the chamber map. We have a very prominent ad on the back of that map. We also have advertised prominently on the Grizzlies program, and just some of the things that we do. I think I passed these out at the retreat. This is our latest, which is the downtown brochure, which not only has some marketing information generally, but it also has the inside map. And this is something that the downtown businesses have been asking for a while. We also do, and I think some of these come in your bills, we do some of what's considered informational data or informational brochures, but they really are marketing brochures because they're meant to influence behavior. The one we did on the cankerworms, what we're trying to do is influence our residents to begin to band. So again, they aren't just educational, they are marketing. This is our latest brochure for the NeoGov application process. Of course, we have the same ones that we do for recycling. So just an idea of some of the stuff that we do. Now, questions?
Question? You want to continue?
I'm hanging in there.
You okay?
I'm good.
Okay, Ms. Chris.
I think.
Okay.
Just a short question, okay, with a short answer. Is there a way as we begin to digest all of this, because I was going through all of this and I thought, how do we get our arms around this, okay? Is there a way that it can be earmarked or categorized as short-term, meaning 6 to 9 months, and long-term strategies and goals
Yeah,
and things?
I can do that. In fact, I
I don't want it right now.
can add sort of another column, because this was to summarize that comprehensive.
Right.
So I can add another column that gives you an idea, and I was working toward that with existing and planned
Right.
and or projected. But I can add another column that indicates time span.
Well, would that be beneficial? I mean, don't do it just for me, but if everybody else thinks that might be beneficial, then we can go back and also look at short-term costs that you've included in there, which is great things. So, just a suggestion.
We'll do.
Good. Yes, sir.
Brenda, I think we're on exactly the same wavelength, but I would also maybe, Rachel, look into if we could add one more column of where the matrix would be sans duplication with the county.
Okay.
Because, certainly we want to complement, I think that there's a feeling here, we certainly want to complement, but not necessarily duplicate with the amount of finite dollars that both we and our partners have.
And I think we run that risk, especially in
I know.
trying to promote to visitors.
I know.
Because you've got tourism, Gaston Tourism, that does quite, now that doesn't mean that I think they always highlight Gastonia enough, but I think we probably all think that. But yeah, I think there are times when we can duplicate, so I can do that as well.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Yes, sir.
I think nowadays, one of the most cost-effective ways that we can market it is through our website. You know, because that's something that can go everywhere, and cost can be controlled pretty well. So I think a real strong look at the website from a marketing standpoint, you know, would be helpful. And that comes down to graphics, it comes down to videos, it comes down to FAQs. You know, anyone who's searching for something, you know, having an easy way that when, you know, if they want, you know, hiking in the Charlotte region, we want it to pop up with Crowder's Mountain, for instance. You know, so having all roads lead to Gastonia through the World Wide Web would be ideal. So that's, I think, a big piece, and I know you guys are working on the website, and you're constantly working on the website. And the other piece of that would be whether or not you can have a robust Parks and Rec part of that website, or let them have their own, you know, because that's big for play, you know. And, you know, if it's workable within the structure of the website, let it be. And if it's not and they need some space, then let them have a web and link it back to ours, you know, because that's a big piece too. So, and what I'm driving towards is I'm driving towards the 25 to 35-year-olds, getting them to move out of Charlotte and into this community, or getting those that are Ashbrook, Hunter Huss, Forest View graduates to come back to this community, because this, you know, drain of youth and brain, you know, is hurting our community tremendously. So a lot of what we have to do, you know, I mean, you can market to that, but you also have to build it, as we know. We build it through the amenities that we provide, through the restaurants that, you know, come here, through the shopping experiences, through a strong, you know, healthy education system, things that we don't always have total control over. But I think that's where we have to go, is we really have to create opportunities for our youth to want to come back here. And that's jobs too. So, I mean, it's all encompassing, obviously, but that's where I would like to see us, you know, these couple things would be good focus.
That is one of the purposes of the redesign. We are doing sort of I hate to call it a redesign, an update. I asked Todd if he would kind of be here too, in case you had specific questions.
Because to help out on this particular front, and maybe Todd, you could come up here now. It is our major effort here. And Todd, who are we actually contracting with our website now? Here, why don't you just speak into their.
Sumner Group.
Okay.
Here on Main Street.
And so they're the people that we're interacting with, and they're the same group that the conference center. How many other agencies are they with?
Well, they are just recently the hospital and the museum.
Hospital and the museum. And so it's the Sumner Group, it's local group, they're the marketing people. And as you can see, this is, and it's the least expensive option too.
Yeah.
And to your point about, you know, what do you put on that first page? Can you get everything? No, you can't always get everything there. Everybody wants to be able to get to click once or twice anyhow. But there's links that you can get. And Todd, can you talk a little bit about some of that conversation you guys are having about how to do that? Or unless Rachel can, but I think it's going to try to help
I'll be
Rachel a
glad
little.
to.
The 14,500, that's almost $15,000. Is that a year?
Where?
Or is that for the, is that just the price we're paying for the remarketing?
Yeah, that's one time.
That's one time, that's not a year?
That's one
Okay, that was the question I had when I saw it. I was like, if we're paying 15,000 a year, I don't care if they're local or not.
Todd, do you know how many hits we're having daily to our website? And do you know where they're going at all when?
That's part of what we're building into our new website. So we will be able to track those hits and exactly where they're coming from and where they're going. We don't have that capability right now.
So they'll provide Google Analytics
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is.
on the back end of this?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir. So what we're trying to do, we're focusing on 4 or 5 major components of the website: easy navigation, citizen convenience and engagement, manageability from a department standpoint. Right now, that's not possible. We're reliant on somebody else to update a phone number if something like that needs to be done. And we want to reduce that. And part of that is considering the marketing plan that the city wants to implement. And pretty much when we finish with the design and we finish with the rewrite, whatever is decided that we need to do, from promoting through social media or updating a list or recreational services or whatever, we'll be able to do that as a staff. And we should be able to do it very timely. I heard you mention the recreation part and the sports signups and the facility signups. That's another major part of this that will become part of our own website. We won't have to have a standalone website for recreation.
Great. Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Also, I would make an assumption that we're going to involve our travel and tourism in this as well for input, number one. And secondly, I think also, Your Honor, and also Todd, I think we would draw also heavily on your input in experience as realtors. You, I'm sure, look at a lot more websites with potential customers, and where they're thinking, frankly, to your point, Doctor, that you're thinking about maybe relocating to. What does this area offer for my family, for me, for a commute, for affordable housing? And I think that a lot of the input that you guys can provide is going to be good for that website to your overall strategy of keeping people here or getting them to move back.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
The Realtors Association would be glad to participate and provide any information or statistics, photos, whatever you need for housing. Certainly that's, in our interest to do that.
And that's the approach that I'm taking. I'm trying to prepare the web so we can be responsive to your needs and to management's needs, and whatever is decided that we want to do with the website, we're able to do, again, timely. So I hope that that's what we end up with, and I think we will. I think it's going to have a much more modern look and feel to it. We've kind of looked at a lot of other cities and how they approach their website design, and we've tried to take a best of breed approach to that. And
Todd, what would the time frame be? Like, where are we at this juncture? Have we developed page 1, page 2, different departments? Do you have something that we could possibly see, or?
Only in handouts right now. I actually have handouts with me. Let's see what's here. This is the first couple pages of the design. I'll pass these around.
Will Sumner have an ongoing involvement with the website after this initial rollout? I mean, will we need them for ongoing maintenance of the website or not?
Only from a security standpoint. From security updates that need to be performed to the actual code itself, we'll probably have to involve them. At least in the after the initial design is done, for the next probably year until maybe we get a better handle on what's actually taking place. But from a manageability and maintainability, maintenance, no, we will not need them to continue in that way.
Todd, this looks, Todd and Todd. This looks very nice, first of all, and I like the spotlight. It looks like it's going to be much more user-friendly. just, I'm sure you guys have had or will have some discussions with Sumner Group, but just to kind of highlight that, we were talking about, what Councilman Kimball said about it and Councilman Curlin about getting people to move back. One idea you might want to think about is, like your spotlight. Let's say it's something about housing in the Gastonia area. You could very easily turn that into a revenue source by, if it's housing, obviously the city is not into housing, so we're not going to spotlight a particular home that's for sale. But you could have a realtor that maybe would like to purchase that spot, and it could be a rotating. I know we do that on websites all over, from Zillow to Trulia to, realtors will pay very good money to have their picture and phone number stuck right there. And then maybe the rest is just about, you know, we have a historical neighborhood, we have a shopping. It doesn't have to specify one particular property, but you could sell these spotlight, and it could be a new revenue stream, almost probably pay for the website.
That's a good idea.
The banks do that too. The banks will, can we not do that?
Well, I just haven't seen many local governments do that, and so we'll have to look into doing that. I mean, it's a question of opening the forum. If you open, you know, the forum and rent it to somebody, you've got to take it from everybody who wants to pay for it, and then sometimes there's somebody that you don't want to rent it to. That's the problem. But we'll try to research that and see what our flexibility is on that.
We're new and innovative,
Cutting edge.
Any other questions?
and we like money.
We like money. That's
We like
the
money.
test.
Comments?
Point,
Yeah.
this is under, where the purchase order was actually established this week. So work will begin on the website very soon, and we're probably looking at 3 to 4 months to have it transition into a live environment.
Okay. Questions?
Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
If I could just kind of add a couple of things about
Go right ahead.
one of the things that we looked at, and Todd and IT's credit, is that they did want to add a marketing element to the website. And you see that with the ways that we can focus on 3 or 4 things, we can't do that on our current website, but now we can, with this new design, we'll be able to highlight events, we'll be able to highlight programs. So some of the things that you're saying about recreation, we'll be able to do a whole lot more easily with this design. You'll also see that we now have up at the top an I want to box, which will make, again, Todd mentioned the navigation. It will break down into a number of different categories, which gives our citizens an opportunity to find things more quickly. There'll also be a special site for visitors. There'll be a special tab for residents. There'll also be a special tab for businesses. So just the design will help improve the marketing that we do on the website.
Will that, on the front page I see here, is this one of the proposed options for a homepage?
Right now,
Is
that is the option.
Okay, so, in terms of the picture here, will this be stilled, or will this be a running slideshow?
It's a running slideshow.
Okay, great,
Yes.
great, yeah.
If you'll look over here, it's got the description of what the picture is and tab arrows where you can advance.
You can do it yourself,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
And I just wanted to add that this look, and with the information like new manufacturer brings jobs, City of Gastonia Police Department joins Bike Safe, Gastonia Grizzlies win. This is information that I would go to the website just to read to find out what's going on in the city. This website would bring me there for more than just, I need to do something with the city. I'd go to get information and find out things. This is appealing to me, something that I would check weekly probably.
Yeah, it doesn't have just all the murder trials and, you know,
Yeah, I mean, it's not just
the other
business
criminal
news,
acts
business.
that the Gazette tends to publish.
As it is now, the only time I visit the city's website is when I need to find a phone number, and then
Right.
I usually end up giving up and calling Jenny because it's too hard to find it anyway. But this is something that I would go to get information. Certainly a lot more appealing.
There'll be a, if you notice up in the top right-hand corner, there'll be a Facebook and Twitter aspect to this too. And the way that that's going to work initially is that if you're following, if you choose to follow the city of Gastonia on Facebook, if an update occurs to this website, then you will get an update on your Facebook page that something's changed and you can choose to check it out.
Yes, sir.
Just to follow up to you and Councilman Pearsall, sir. I look at this, and maybe this, I don't know whether this is a sound or not, but to look at this, I think as a goal to be both informational and just, again, throwing it into the realtor's domain, also a resource. And kind of how I'm thinking is, you know, get a client comes in, you know, I'm looking, me and my family are looking for this, this, and this. And to use this as a resource, a running resource of what Gastonia has to offer. You kind of getting me? You know, and I think that's what we need to look at in addition to information. I think sometimes if it gets too informational, it's like maybe too dry, or like, you know, it's not, it doesn't have any heart or feeling, and I would be cautious about losing that.
Mayor.
Okay. Well, yes, sir.
Right now, how do departments, I know, you know, the police department has a newsletter. Haven't seen one recently, but the police department has a newspaper. The Blue Light, right. The fire department, do they have a publication? Okay. I'm just wondering how, you know, this is, again, more work, but whatever, but it would be kind of neat somehow to do employee profiles, ways, I don't know if you know, you take it to a login, you know, where an employee login and they go to another, you know, back room of the website, and then departments have an opportunity to communicate within department. Like you can put, you know, stuff about new employees on there, new employee profiles, you know, all kinds of things that would be, yeah, I mean, all the kinds of things that you do intra-departmentally or interdepartmentally. I don't know if this is the place for that or not, but, you know, or if some of that you bring onto the public side because you're putting faces on the government. And, you know, you're profiling an employee periodically. You know, good things are happening here. These are great people. Meet this person. You know, I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but, you know, it's just maybe an opportunity. I don't know.
We have an website at work where
Right, we do.
it's
too.
not out in the public, you know, because, you know, these guys put their lives on the line, and I'd hate for someone to have a demise or some crazy
Oh, no,
thing.
you don't,
Yeah,
you
the
you only,
I
you only
just- I
put
think-
public what you want to
Yeah,
be
but if
public.
they had a, you know, an intra-site such as like someone
Yeah,
had a baby,
the-
or there was a graduation, or something along those lines, I'd feel more akin for people within the employees themselves would be able to have access to that, and that would not be public information, that's all.
The city has an intranet as well. So, and for instance, there was a recent situation where there was a kind of a tragic death, and it was a little memorial within, and that was actually on our intranet. And so there's information that's there on that platform that is purely in-house. And there's always these decisions made as to what stays there and what goes there.
Getting you, Dave, I think, like, you know, for example, meet blank, he's in charge of, and his duties are, and he's been with the city X number of years, and
Yeah.
something like that, I think is where you're going. Not maybe
Yeah.
not so much personal, but more
No,
business.
no. Just, again, you know, putting a face on the city sometimes in terms of profiling employees that would be willing to be profiled, you know, that you tell something about somebody, or, you know, just kind of makes it a little bit more personal. Just a thought.
I just want to say that I think that's a good idea, and first thing that popped in my mind when you were saying it's like when one of the police officers or one of the firemen get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you know, especially with the fire and police departments, they're dealing with the public. You know, somebody makes captain, somebody makes sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
Promote them on there and say, you know, meet the newest sergeant. And it's a good way for the public to see that, and then when they see him out, they can congratulate him too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or her, excuse me, we do have some females, did not mean to leave them out.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, Rachel, get better. Thank you both.
Rachel, the pamphlet for downtown looks very nice too. I know we didn't talk about that at the retreat, but it looks very nice.
Thank you both very much. Item 9, I'll start the city attorney